Buying travel gear teaches you two things. First, most things you buy, you'll end up replacing at some point. And second, the best gear is the stuff you never have to replace at all. Hey, Johannes from Gear Up Your Life here, and today I'll show you 8 travel products you buy once and use for years, maybe even for the next 10 to 15. When I started traveling a few years ago, I went through a lot of gear, but looking back now, most of the things in this video I've been using for 3, sometimes almost 4 years already, and I never once felt like I needed to replace them. And after that, as always, I've got 4 bonus picks that are a bit more fun, but still things I use all the time. So let's start with the one I've probably used the longest. So let's start with the one I've used on almost every trip for the past 4 years. That's the Level 8 Luminous Textured Carry-On, and it's around $150, so not the cheapest, but also not crazy expensive for what you get. And as you can probably see from the close-up shots, I've had this for almost 4 years now. I've taken it on pretty much every kind of trip, even my first South America trip, and yeah, it has a few scratches by now. But that's honestly it. At some point, I realized I just stopped thinking about it. I wasn't looking for alternatives, I wasn't comparing options, I just grabbed it and went. It's made from a hard polycarbonate shell, so it's lightweight but still really durable. But more importantly, nothing feels loose, nothing feels worn out, the wheels are still smooth, the handle still feels solid, and the whole thing just holds up. Inside, it's clean and simple 2 compartments, enough space, enough organization without overcomplicating anything. And that's really the point with this one. There's nothing flashy about it, it just keeps working. Now I also have the Level 8 Gibraltar aluminum carry-on, and in terms of build quality, that one is on another level. Because it's made out of aluminum, it's even more durable long term. It doesn't just resist wear, it basically ages with you. But it does come with 2 downsides. First, the price, it's around $450, which is normal for aluminum luggage but still expensive. And second, the weight, it's noticeably heavier, around 4.5 kilos or about 10 pounds, which can be a real downside if you're trying to pack light. So both of these will easily last you for a year, but personally, for most flights, I still prefer the standard luminous carry-on in black just because it's lighter and easier to travel with. Our second product on the list is the AirFly Pro, and this is actually one of the few tech products in this video, because usually tech is the first thing that breaks or needs replacing. This one is different. Before this, I was using the regular version for over 2 years, and it still works perfectly fine. I only upgraded to the Pro because of the better battery life and the option to connect 2 devices at the same time. And if you've never seen this before, what it basically does is let you connect your wireless headphones to things that don't have Bluetooth. So on flights, you can just plug it into the screen and use your own headphones instead of the ones they give you. It's around $55, which might seem like a lot for something this small. But from my experience, this is one of those things you buy once and just keep using for years. And it charges via USB-C and has a simple solid plastic build that just holds up over time. And to be honest, I'd recommend going straight for the Pro version, just because you won't feel the need to upgrade later. Next up is my Smart Herman Pro, and this is the bag that's been with me for the longest time now. I've had this for over 1.5 years, and since then, it's been with me in more than 20 countries across Africa, Europe, and Asia, and I've used it both as a personal item on flights and for short city trips. It's around $160, so definitely not cheap, but after using it this much, I can honestly say it's one of those bags that justifies it over time. And what really surprised me is how well it's held up over time. The material they use is latex fabric, and it has this soft, almost rubberized feel, but it's actually really dense and structured. It's water resistant, doesn't really scratch, and even after all that travel, it still looks almost new. Same with the rest of the bag. The zippers are still smooth, the seams haven't worn out, and even the magnetic roll top closure still feels tight and secure like on day one. The layout is also just really easy to live with. You've got one main compartment, a dedicated tech section for your laptop, with this really soft inner lining that protects everything inside, and small pockets exactly where you expect them. Nothing overcomplicated, just practical. You also get a dedicated water bottle pocket on the side, and a small loop where you can easily attach something like a carabiner, for example your neck pillow, or even something like a nano bag when you don't want to carry it inside. And to be honest, it just looks really good. It's clean, minimal, and works in pretty much any setting. When it comes to comfort, this is where it really stands out. The shoulder straps have this slight curve to them and just sit naturally on your shoulders, and even when the bag is fully packed, the weight stays close to your back, so it never really feels uncomfortable. And I think that's why this bag made it into this video. Not because it's trying to do something crazy, but because after all this time, it just keeps doing its job without giving me a reason to switch. Our next gadget is something you've probably seen a dozen times in my videos, but I've never really talked about it. The Peak Design phone case, and I've been using this for almost 3 years now, basically since I got my phone. It was actually a gift from my girlfriend, because I was one of those people who refused to spend more than $5 on a phone case, but this completely changed that for me. The first thing you notice is just the build quality. It has this soft fabric finish on the back that feels really premium, but at the same time it's still super durable. It doesn't get scratched up easily, it doesn't fall apart, it just holds up over time. And even after using using it every single day, it still looks clean. No peeling, no weird wear, it just ages really well. But the real reason I stuck with it is the system behind it, because it's not just a foam case, it has this built-in mounting system that lets you snap it onto different accessories like stands, tripods, or car mounts, or of course every other wireless charging device like a power bank, and it just works instantly. And that's kind of what makes this one a buy it for life type of product. So once you get used to it, you just don't really think about replacing it with anything else. Next up is something I've been using pretty much every single day for the last 2 years, the Owala FreeSip. And it's actually funny, because when I first got it, it was kind of more of a niche thing you'd only really see in the travel or EDC space. But now I see it everywhere, like literally everywhere, even in stores like Walmart, and the price has gone up as well. I think I paid around $20 for mine back then, and now it's closer to $30, which to be honest, I still think is completely fair for what you get. And by the way, if you're interested in any of the things in this video, I've linked everything down below in the description. What makes this bottle so good is just how easy it is to use. You can open it with one hand, it pops open instantly, and you can either sip through the straw or just drink normally, without having to unscrew anything or change the lid. It's also fully insulated, so your drinks stay cold for a really long time, easily a full day in my experience, and the build quality overall is just really solid. Nothing feels cheap, nothing is loose, and even after using it for 2 years straight, it still works exactly the same. And I think that's what makes this one so good. It's not just a water bottle, it's one of those things that slowly becomes part of your daily routine, and at some point, you don't really want to use anything else anymore. Next up are my Thule compression packing cubes, and this is a thing I honestly didn't expect to make such a big difference compared to our standard packing cubes. So I'm using the small and medium set, which is around $45. So I usually keep things like underwear and socks in the small one, and then t-shirts or lighter clothes in the medium. And at first they just seem like normal packing cubes, but the compression feature is what really changes everything. Because once you pack them, you can zip them down and actually compress your clothes. And it's kind of crazy how much space you end up saving. Like, it doesn't just organize your stuff, it actually makes your luggage feel bigger. And at the same time, everything stays exactly where it should be. Nothing moves around, nothing gets messy. You open your suitcase and it just looks clean every time. The build quality is also exactly what you'd expect from Thule. The fabric feels strong, the zippers are solid, and even after a lot of trips, they still work just as smoothly as in the beginning. And I think this is one of the best examples in this video of something that's not exciting at first, but when you start using it, you realize you don't want to travel without it anymore. Next up is something that fits this whole concept of the video perfectly, the nano bag. And this is honestly one of my all-time favorite small travel items. It usually costs around $10 to $15, which makes it super easy to justify. But what surprised me the most is how well it actually holds up over time, because I've been using this for a long time now, at least once a week, sometimes even more, and I've taken it on multiple trips, and it still has zero damage. No tears, no weak spots, nothing. It just keeps working. And that's why I genuinely think this is one of those things where you spend $15 once and it easily lasts you 5 to 10 years. It folds down into this tiny little pouch, so I usually just clip it somewhere on my bag with a carabiner, which means it's always there when I need it. But once you open it, it holds way more than you'd expect. Like I showed you in one of my older videos, you can literally fill this thing with a ridiculous amount of soda cans, plus other stuff on top of that, and it still handles it without any problem. It's made from this really lightweight but surprisingly strong material, and that's what makes it so good. It feels minimal, but it doesn't feel fragile. And I think this is one of the best examples in this video of something that costs almost nothing, but ends up being one of the most useful things you own. So our last product on the main list is the tomtoc tech pouch, and this one is around $25 in the medium size. And here's a quick disclaimer. I've only had this for about 5 to 6 months now, but I'm extremely confident that this is something I'll be using for years. And the reason for that is just how well it's built. The material feels really awesome, it holds its shape nicely, and it just feels more premium than what you'd normally expect at this price point. The zippers are smooth, the stitching is clean, and nothing feels loose or cheap. But what really makes this pouch so good is the layout. It's simple, really well thought out. You've got enough structure inside to organize cables, adapters, power banks, but at the same time, it doesn't overcomplicate anything. It also stands upright on its own, which sounds like a small thing, but once you use it on a desk or in a hotel room, you realize how convenient that actually is compared to different brands. And overall, it just makes your whole setup feel more organized and easier to use. I actually like this so much that I even made a full dedicated review about it on my review channel. I'll link that in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. But for now, if you made it this far, definitely stick around, because now we still have 4 bonus gadgets coming up that are a bit more fun. Still things I use all the time and that will last you for a long time. But real quick, before we get into the bonus gadgets, if you want something that actually helps you on every single trip, lasts long term, and is completely free, then you might want to check out my newsletter. Inside, you'll find 75 plus travel essentials I've personally tested, 8 complete packing guides for different types of trips, and 25 practical travel tip cards you can use pretty much anywhere. It's also where I share more behind the scenes stuff, real packing setups, and the gear I actually use, together with a community of more than 2,000 travelers already inside. You can sign up and unlock everything for free through the first link in the description. Alright, now let's get into the bonus gadgets. So our first bonus gadget is something I've been using for over a year now, and it's actually what I use to film all the videos you're seeing right now, the Sony ZV-E10. And the only reason it's this far down the list is because I know it's not for everyone. Spending close to $1,000 on a camera only makes sense for a small group of people. But personally, I think for the price range, it's one of the best you can get, and it's definitely one of those products you buy once and then just use for years without really feeling the need to upgrade. And I think you can judge the quality for yourself, especially for close-up shots. It just looks really, really good. Our next bonus gadget is the Gear Aid Hero Clip, and this one only costs around $20, but it's surprisingly useful. You can basically clip it onto tables, doors, or pretty much anything, and hang your bag, your jacket, or whatever you don't want to put on the ground. And the best part is, there's nothing on it that really breaks. It's just a simple, solid design that you can keep using for years. Our third bonus gadget is a JBL speaker. I'm currently using the Clip 5, but honestly, once you get a JBL speaker, you kind of stick with it. I got my first one when I was around 14, so 10 years ago, the JBL Charge 4, and it still works almost exactly like it did back then. So even though I've only had the Clip 5 one for a short time, I'm pretty confident it's going to be the same story here. So our last bonus gadget are the loop earplugs, and this is one of those things you don't really think about until you actually need it. They're reusable, they don't wear out like cheap foam ones, and especially for flights or sleeping in noisy places, they just make a huge difference. And once you get used to having them with you, you don't really want to travel without them anymore. Alright, and with that, we're done. These were 8 travel products I've been using for years without ever feeling the need to replace them. And if you want to watch more videos that YouTube is 100% convinced you're going to love, you can click right here on the left, and if you're not subscribed yet, you can do that right here on the right. And with that, as always, safe travels, guys.